So Ray Epps, which is a name our audience may know well. The reason is he was one of the January 6th protesters who many believed might have been an undercover Fed because despite the fact that he was on camera and on audio tape and you could hear him over and over, like calling for people to go into the Capitol. In fact, we'll play it. This is how people first came to know and see Ray Epps. Despite this, watch soundbite 1.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. No! Peacefully. Fed.
People are saying right then they think he's a Fed because he's saying we're going in. And the other people are saying, no, we don't need to do that. Anyway, despite all that, he was not arrested. And everybody's been arrested. If they could identify you as one of the rioters on Jan 6th, you were arrested and you were charged and you may have already been tried, but not Ray Epps, despite very clear evidence that he participated in the whole thing. Well, Tucker Carlson on Fox, and it wasn't just Tucker. Many people speculated about whether he was participating that day in some sort of undercover capacity for the feds, trying to instigate criminality in the same way we saw in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping case in Michigan, where the feds were orchestrating that. Now the guy has sued not Tucker Carlson, very interesting, just Fox News, which just turfed Tucker Carlson. Didn't technically fire Tucker yet, but pulled him from his show. And the only reason they haven't fired him is because they want to keep him on the payroll and keep him silent, which is failing. But in any event, what do you make of the fact, Mark, that he's now filed this lawsuit and that it's just against Fox?
I'm surprised.
Claiming he was defamed.
Yeah, typically you include everybody and then let them fight it out amongst themselves as to how much each one owes. Obviously, he's going after Fox News because they have the deeper pockets. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand why. And I think it undermines the credibility of the plaintiff's lawyer that he doesn't include the very person who he claims spewed untruths about his client.
The credibility of his lawyer doesn't work hard to undermine that guy's credibility, Arthur. You don't have to try very hard because the guy he hired is named Michael Teeter, T-E-T-E-R. And this lawyer is a close associate and employee, according to Revolver News, of David Brock. David Brock is a disgusting political operative who ran Media Matters, which is a dishonest, gross group whose only mission in life is to tear down conservative commentators and conservative media. He works for an organization called Facts First USA, a nakedly partisan, quoting from Revolver here, nakedly partisan organization targeting the agenda of the so-called MAGA majority in Congress. And the president of Facts First USA is David Brock. It's disgusting. The group is disgusting. And the fact that Ray Epps hired this lawyer tells me he's probably disgusting too.
Well, I wonder if Ray Epps hired this lawyer or this lawyer broke ethical rules and reached out to Ray Epps and said, let me represent you and let's go after Fox. I mean, Mark is 100% correct. If you slip and fall somewhere, you slip on some soda, like you sue Madison Square Garden, you sue the maintenance company for Madison Square Garden, you sue the Coca-Cola company for having slippery soda. So here, I mean, look, they went after the low-hanging fruit. They just saw that Fox was willing to write out a check for almost $800 million. They filed the case in the same exact venue where Fox wrote out the check for, what was it, $787. Of course, yep. Fox has now moved that or asked for that case to be moved from the state court to the federal court. And as you said, you're correct. Everyone else has got arrested. He hasn't got arrested, but they did interview him. They did take him off the wanted list, but now supposedly they're saying they are going to press charges against him. And that raises even more eyebrows because in both Mark and mine experience, it's very rare that the feds give you a nice little invitation for your arrest. Typically, they just come and show up with look what they did to Mr. Not Stolliver, who's Trump's advisor?
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. I mean, look how they went after that guy, right? With helicopters and SWAT teams and all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy screaming, let's go into the Capitol. Why wouldn't they grab him that way? So there are a lot of questions around here. Apparently, he and his wife sold the business. They're living in a trailer, literally a trailer, in Utah somewhere because they've had death threats. So it's interesting that what this lawsuit is going to do is, I mean, if it goes the course with depositions, et cetera, it's going to definitely shake out some witnesses who have a lot of things to answer for, like, why wasn't he arrested? How come people much less involved were arrested and he wasn't? What's that all about? Did Tucker Carlson and other people have the right? Did they have a reasonable evidence, facts, to be able to say the things that they said? You know, truth is an absolute defense to defamation. So if it turns out that the facts show that maybe he was working for someone, well, then there's nothing that he could lean on to win the defamation suit. If it's
I don't think the facts have to show that he actually worked for anyone in the government. The question is whether there was enough to just simply get, and again, I don't know what was said. I need to see exactly what Tucker said. But if Tucker's giving his opinion that there's enough there that it seems, and he's raising that issue, I don't think that he has to have the absolute truth on his side that it turned out he was some type of federal agent. Just based upon all these facts, you know, you can raise the issue with wide latitude from the First Amendment. You can raise that issue. What I don't know, what I don't know though is what specifically was said. Assuming he's not an agent.
I'll tell you this.
Right?
I haven't looked at all of Tucker's coverage of Ray Epps, but they're alleging that he suggested that he might be a federal agent or a federal source. Tucker is smart enough not to say Ray Epps is a federal agent. Ray Epps is where he's smart enough to know he wouldn't know that, and he wouldn't be able to say that explicitly on the air. But I'll tell you what's not in Ray Epps's complaint. Statements like this from Tucker Carlson, who made clear repeatedly that he didn't actually know one way or the other what the real status of Ray Epps was, that the whole discussion was speculation. Here's Tucker in October of 2021, SOT 2.
Now, just to be totally clear, we don't know whether this Epps guy was working with the federal government. We don't know anything about him, haven't talked to him. We can only show you video from that day. But we do know it doesn't seem like he's been punished for this. If you're looking for the people who organized that day, maybe you should talk to him. Has he been indicted? Not that we know of. Maybe he has been, we don't know it, but we haven't seen any evidence that he has been.
So, Mark, does that potentially save Tucker? Because maybe in another segment he said the evidence looks very strong that he's a federal agent of some sort or a federal source of some sort, but he also made clear he didn't know.
I would need to see everything, but I would say in that, what he's doing there, I believe just that's constitutionally protected. That's right up to the line, but he doesn't go over it. I think that could be damaging, but the First Amendment allows people to speculate as long as it's based upon fact. And, he's there. He's right up on the line with that. He didn't step over, but he's right there. And I understand why this gentleman is upset about it. But again, that's what makes this country great. We have the First Amendment.
Summer used to mean I was kicking off the sheets every night to try to stay cool. Perhaps you've been there. But that all changed thanks in part to my discovery of Cozy Earth bedding. I now sleep comfortably even on those hot, awful nights, and you can too. Simply swap out your current sheets for soft, breathable, temperature-regulating sheets from Cozy Earth, the brand with thousands of 5-star reviews, including my own. If you do not agree that you are sleeping cooler, more comfortably this summer, they will refund your purchase price plus shipping, no questions asked, and you get 100 nights to try them out. How can Cozy Earth make such a guarantee, right? After 100 nights, if you don't like it, send it back in, you get a refund. How? Because their bedding is made from viscose, from bamboo, so it traps less heat, enabling people to sleep cooler, more comfortably year-round. For a limited time, save up to 40% on Cozy Earth. Go to CozyEarth.com, enter my promo code MEGYN at checkout, and that will save you up to 40% off your order. Try them for 100 nights. If you don't sleep cooler, send them on back in for a full refund. cozyearth.com, promo code Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.